Good morning. Good morning. So apparently I'm live now. So it is 10 o'clock exactly. And as usual, I'm waiting for all you lovely ladies to join me. Whoever is coming on live today, you can always watch the replay as well. It will be available in the announcements. And it will also be saved towards, maybe middle of next week. It will be saved in Guides 3. So good morning. I was going to say it's Monday. I'm so used to doing Monday lives, but it's not Monday. Today is Thursday, July 8th, and that is unusual, but that's the way it worked out this week. And as a matter of fact, before I forget, I want to let you know that I will not be doing a Monday Live next week, next Monday either, because I have a doctor's appointment. But I will try. I actually have a very busy week next week. But if I can, I will try to do another live towards the end of next week. So for those of you who are new and who don't know me, my name is Svieta and I'm in Montreal, Canada. I am a professional home stager, decorator, house flipper, Airbnb organizer, and I run an Airbnb house right now. So I'm kind of very multifunctional, but anything that's connected to real estate is really my jam, and I have a lot of experience in it. And I'm still learning every day. So I just took in a real estate investment course. So I'm looking to purchase more real estate, more investment properties with my husband because he's a contractor. And so it works out really well between the two of us, right? So Debbie, good morning, good morning. And anybody else who is coming on, please say hello to me, put hello or anything you want, a heart or anything in the chat. And if you want to let me know who you are, because unfortunately I cannot see it with this particular software, but you can give a permission to StreamYard to use your Facebook profile by going just above the video and giving your permission. And then from that on, I'll be able to see your name, like I see Debbie's name. And if not, you just have to put in the chat who you are. So as you're coming on, say hello to me. And I think today's topic, I'm hoping that it's going to interest a lot of you. So some of you know that I came to kind of decorating a little late in life. It's really not my background at all, but about 15 years ago, I changed careers. I was in sales and marketing of computer software and services, and I was pretty miserable. Didn't like that at all. It was really not my thing, but I did it for many years, and then I switched to something that's completely different, which is home staging. At the time in 2005, 2006, it was something that was not known at all in Quebec, and it was hardly known anywhere in Canada and just a little bit in the Western US. And I slowly started my home staging business, and I was doing it part-time because I still needed to work and provide for my kids. But then slowly I kind of moved into it full-time, and so I became one of the first top stagers in my local market. And I still get people calling me today. I get realtors calling me today because I just, I still have the reputation. So I still do some stagings in my local areas. I try to maintain my skills, and it's always good to do what you preach, right? Like on Monday, I'm going to do a consultation for this lovely lady. I have not seen her house yet, but my understanding is from what she told me, she's going to be selling her condo, and she's a doctor. And I guess she doesn't have time, maybe she doesn't have the interest, but she knows that her house needs to be more appealing for sale. So she called me for my help to go give her a consultation, look at the way her house is presenting itself, and maybe give her advice, reorganize how to reorganize some furniture, and maybe add some accessories, light fixtures. She mentioned she might have to purchase some light fixtures, and just re-accessorize it and redecorate it. I think it's pretty new, her house, from what I understand, so maybe we don't really need to do anything major, but I will see on a Monday and I will report back to you. So this is what I do. I work with clients on a one-on-one basis. So whether you're a seller, home seller, I can help you figure out what you need to do in the most effective and efficient way financially, but also to get the biggest return for your buck so you can sell your house as expensively as possible. And for those of you who are not selling, I also provide services which are redesigned or style or whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's taking what you already have and trying to improve on it and making it better. And sometimes it's just little changes, right, that can make a whole big difference. And of course, it all depends on what you want and also your budget. So I'm always very budget conscious because that's what I think most people need. Okay, not everybody can afford to spend a lot of money. Now, I do flip homes with my husband. So good morning, Svieta. So I don't know who that is, so give me your name. So I am used to doing big renovations. And that's leading into today's topic of the bathroom updates. So I'm more of a all or nothing kind of person, and I don't like to cut corners, and neither does my husband. So when I ask him to do something that he considers to be like a Band-Aid fix, he doesn't like it. He prefers, hi Bernie, he really prefers to kind of demolish everything and do the job properly. And so it's nice, and there is no quick fix-ups, and it stays good for many years to come. And I prefer that as well. So whenever we can and whenever we do our flips, I will say that most of the time, pretty much all of the time, I don't do quick fix-ups. I actually demolish everything and start from scratch. But I also realize that it's not necessarily the possibility for everybody at any time. And also when you're selling your house, your bathroom might be a little outdated, but you might not want or are able to invest, $5,000 to $10,000 to renovate your whole bathroom. So what I was thinking is what we can do, maybe I can give you some tips and advice on things that I've seen. I haven't necessarily tried all of them, but things that I've researched and that I've seen and that I know that things that can be done for you to improve the look of your bathroom without necessarily spending a lot of money. And then you can decide what are the things that you are willing to do, or what are the things that you're going to actually go all out. So for some people, for example, maybe you're living in the house, you're not going to be selling it yet, but you might not want or be able to, to spend $10,000 to renovate the bathroom, which is approximately what it really costs, $10,000 to $15,000 easily. But you might want to just do some quick updates, okay? So that's really the purpose of today's live. It's not doing a full-blown renovation. So one of the best things, and I put it into, I have my little notes here as usual, and I put it into number one position because there is really a reason for it. I really totally believe that painting the walls, the ceiling, and the trims is the first and probably the easiest and the best thing that you can do to increase the value and to make your place look nice and fresh without necessarily doing something major. So I would start with that. So number one, I would definitely look at freshening up your bathroom just by repainting the walls, the ceiling, and all of the trims. And by the way, I see all these people joining us, so I just want to stay for a minute, say hello, and please put your name, say hello to me in the comments, and tell me who you are, and so I know who is watching. So that is the number one thing. The number two, I also put things like light fixture, okay? There is nothing worse for me is when you go into a bathroom and you see those old vanity lights, right? Like a row with all the light bulbs sticking out. It looks so much like a pharmacy, and it's just awful. So I think that, that is a very budget friendly update because you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money on a bathroom vanity light. You can, I like pot lights, so that's what everybody's doing today. So if you have the budget, you might call an electrician in and you might install, 2 or 3 or 4 usually, unless you have a huge bathroom, pot lights. So that right away updates the bathroom tremendously. But if you cannot do that, then definitely maybe you can just replace your vanity lights. So whatever they are, especially if they're this bar with all the light bulbs there, please replace that. We're talking probably around $100, $100 to $120, $130 max. You can really get something nice. You can even use the same electrical outlet, so you have to be careful to buy the same thing. So if you have one and then you have like a long bar, you have to buy the same type of light fixture. Now you have 2 separate light fixtures there on the wall, so you have to be mindful if you don't want to spend too much money, and then you do the same thing. So that would be my so I'm just going to take off the ones that I talked about so I don't forget which one. So changing the light fixtures. The same thing, by the way, for your ceiling. If you have any light fixtures on the ceiling, you can go 2 ways. Again, the best thing, of course, is to put spotlights if you can, and if you cannot, then at least look at the light fixture that you have on your ceiling, and you can definitely change that and go big. Okay, to take something dramatic, take something, maybe with crystal chandelier type, with candle type light bulbs. So you can go big and dramatic and make it really actually the focal point of your bathroom. And that's going to make a very, very big difference. That was light fixtures. So the other thing that you can do, which would not cost a lot of money, it's definitely have a look at your shower enclosures. So changing the tiles in the shower is a big job, because you have to pull all the previous tiles. You have to rip stuff out. And once you rip stuff out, then it becomes a problem, because the wall in the back is going to probably get damaged. So you have to put maybe new drywall, and you have to replaster, and you have to repaint. So that becomes a much bigger job. So that depends on how badly you want it done and what you can afford. But it might not be perfect, but as long as it's clean and it's nice, and we'll talk about a couple of little things that you can do there. But definitely look at your shower curtain, and at least replace your shower curtain and your rings, as well as all the accessories in the bathroom. So, the towels, and maybe put a nice, pretty soap bottle. So whatever you can replace there. I usually go for something very simple in terms of shower curtains, if you still have shower curtains. So more of an hotel style, white, off-white, cream color, maybe light gray, something that makes the bathroom, nice, very peaceful environment to be in. Now, if you don't like shower curtains and you don't want to have one, you might want to consider putting, a glass door. I mean, glass doors are amazing, and they work really well. They require more maintenance, because I have put a glass enclosure in my latest project, which is our Love Shack, for those of you who've been following me. And it's a little house on the waterfront that we renovated very quickly and minimally, and we're renting out, but the bathroom was completely renovated. And I bought a 48-inch by 32-inch glass enclosure, and it's wonderful. And actually, I get comments from our guests from Airbnb, specific comments regarding, how amazing a shower is. But it also requires more maintenance, because I have to wash the glass very, very carefully every time between the guests, to make sure that there's no streaks and that there's no soaps come and all that stuff. But it does wonders. So if it's possible for you to change the glass door, or put a glass door instead of a shower curtain, that makes a huge, huge difference. Now, they're not inexpensive. If you have one of those bathtub shower combination, putting a glass door can be easily $400 to $500, but it's worth it. And okay, somebody's asking me, because buyers open up doors and drawers, is it helpful to pare down item? Absolutely. That is, it applies as much to the kitchen cabinets as it applies to the bathroom cabinets. You're absolutely right. And I'm sorry, I'm not seeing your name, but I'll see it after the live, unless you tell me who you are. People open everything and they look. So anything that's like, it's personal items or your medicine or anything that you don't want people to see because it's not necessary for them to see, I would definitely put away. Maybe have some baskets with lids that you can buy inexpensively, even at Walmart or maybe even a dollar store, and put all that stuff away neatly. And definitely, nobody wants to see your mess because you want them to think that you have a lot of storage space. So you do need to pare it down and put it away again. Oh, Bernie again. Yeah, well, Bernie, if you go up at the top and you give permission to StreamYard to use your Facebook profile, I'll actually know that it's you, but it's okay. So, so we talked about the shower curtain, the paint, the light fixture. Okay, now I want to talk about the cabinets. So if your cabinet, it's not a possibility for you to change your vanity or your bathroom vanity, then the couple of things that you can do, and I've seen it done quite inexpensively, and the result is really good, is definitely change the hardware. And that is so easy to do, and it's really not expensive. So if you have your handles and your pull-outs and they're kind of outdated and old, there's a couple of things you can do. One, you can spray paint them. But me, I'm very lazy. I don't like doing those things. So I'm just gonna go to Home Depot and buy the new handles and pull-outs. You just have to be mindful. You have to be very careful. So when you take one out, you unscrew it, you'll measure the distance between the holes. So either you have one hole or two, but if it's two, then you have to measure the distance between the two holes. So whenever you buy new ones, they fit in the same holes in the door, right? So that's very important. And that is going to make a big, big difference. And then you can also paint the actual vanity. And if you just want to kind of refresh, you don't necessarily need to paint the back, okay, the inside and the back. You do need to take the doors out. And that's usually pretty easy to do just with a screwdriver. And then you lie them on a flat surface, or you can put some, cups or something, and then you put it on the top, and you paint the outside, the exterior side of all the doors. You can find some really nice, pretty paint color today. Now they need to be sanded a little bit, and I'm not an expert in doing those things, but I do talk to my husband a lot, and I see what he does. So I do know that you need to take some 120 grit sandpaper, I think, and you rough it up. So first you clean all the surfaces, and then you rough it up by sanding it, and then you can apply a couple of coats of paint, and it will really, really transform the look of your vanity. Okay, so that can be done pretty quickly over a weekend. So you need just to let it dry a couple of hours, and you apply another coat. So that's pretty enough to do. Now, talking about the vanity, there is a problem. To me, it's always been a problem. It's the top, the countertop. Because if you have a bad countertop, let's say it's laminate, and it's some really ugly, old, outdated color, and it really doesn't look good, okay, what can you do? Now, okay, as I said at the beginning, I do not like Band-Aid solutions myself. I'm always careful of it's not lasting as a solution, and also that if your house is for sale, you don't want people to think that you tried to hide something, because we're not really staging and preparing a home for sale. It's not about hiding things. And so I'm always very mindful of that. But I have recently seen someone, and you can tell me, please give me your comments and tell me what you think. I'm not 100% sure what I think about it, to be honest, but I saw somebody take contact paper, you know, those papers. Actually, it's exactly the same that I used on my bookshelves, on the back of the bookshelves that I did in the Love Shack, and I'll be posting the before and afters, and it's the difference is amazing. So it's one of those, you know, the cheap rolls, maybe $30-40 that you can buy at Home Depot. It's called contact paper, and it's basically, you know, like plasticized paper with very sticky. And I saw them gluing that on top of the old vanity countertop. So it gave a marble look, and the look was very, very pretty. You have to be very careful when you cut out, let's say, spaces for the sink. And you also, it's better done with two people, because that's how I did the back of my bookshelves, because I was with a girlfriend, and one of us, you know, was opening up the roll, the other one was positioning it and then smoothing it out and making sure that we got all the air bubbles out of it, so it's flat on the surface. So, but it can be easily unglued and put back on. Better not do it, because if you want it to stick properly, so you can do that. And honestly, the result, the look was really, really good. Now, I cannot say if it's going to be super durable, but if it's something that you only want, let's say for 6 months or a year or maybe a couple of years, because you're going to eventually renovate that bathroom completely, you know, that could definitely work. If you do that, my suggestion would be not to forget to redo the caulking around it, because when you do, you know, you finish the edges with caulking, it gives it a more professional look, and it doesn't look like you just took some wallpaper and stuck it there. So I saw people do that. I also know, and I've seen people do that there are some pretty amazing paint products out there now, which did not exist 10 years ago, which allow you to actually paint your laminate countertops, or even give them a different texture altogether. So I've done a little bit of research, and I looked at what are the best products out there that you could be using. So most of them are actually available at Home Depot, which is really great. And for the bathroom, there is a product which I have not tried, so I'm not going to tell you I did, but it looks like it's a really, really highly rated, good product. It's called Beyond Paint Countertop Makeover Finishing Kit, and it's sold at Home Depot. And then there are also a couple of other products, which is Rust-Oleum by a company called Rust-Oleum Transformations. You can find it on Amazon, you can find it in Home Depot, and they have a variety of products that you can make your countertops look like stone, or like some different things. There is another product that's called Daich, D-A-I-C-H, not sure how to pronounce it, Daich Spreadstone Mineral Kit, and it's also sold at Home Depot, and that one has a lot of very, very high ratings as well. And if you want to make your countertop look like granite or marble, which would always work wonders, right? Anything that looks high-end, if you put it granite, or I prefer the marble look, then right away it looks amazing and it looks updated and high-end. So there are products that are called by a company called Gianni, Giani, Gianni Granite Countertop, or they have also marble look, and they have a variety of other. You can make your counter just plain white, so it looks like white quartz. So there is a lot of other options, but those are the best products that I found. So Gianni, Rust-Oleum Transformations, Beyond Paint Countertop Makeover Finishing Kit, and Daich Spreadstone Minerals. So all of those products are available at Home Depot. So if you go and you talk to, you know, people who work there, and you do a little bit of research, I'm sure you can find the one that suits your needs in the colors that you want. And I think that is a pretty amazing solution. Again, it's not very complicated to do. You just need to make sure that the countertop is very clean, it doesn't have any grease on it. Then, you know, you sand it again, and then you can paint it. And then if you use regular paint, you can actually even put you need a primer, and then you need the paint, and you need the sealer. But if you buy one of those kits, It might be a little bit more expensive. On average, it seems to be around $150, but it might be worth it to spend that money and just follow their instructions really carefully. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also just replace the countertop. If the rest of the vanity and your sink and everything is good, you can go for laminate. It doesn't have to be necessarily granite or marble or quartz if you're thinking of changing your whole, renovating your whole bathroom. But meanwhile, you can just get a more modern, a better looking laminate. One laminate that I really like, it's actually sold at IKEA, and it's also sold through regular suppliers, but it looks like almost like metal. It looks kind of a metallic gray, a little bit shiny look, and it's very, very modern. It's very contemporary. I think it fits. It's going to fit with pretty much anything. And it wouldn't be a very expensive solution because those companies, even Home Depot, they send you someone to measure to make sure that it's exact. It takes a couple of weeks. They come back. So it could cost you, maybe $200-300 to do that. So that would be something that I would recommend to look at. Okay. Now, what do we do about the floor? That's another question that a lot of people, including myself, like sometimes you see tiles that are cracked or they're just very outdated, or maybe the tiles are okay, but the grout is very dirty and dark and just not nice. So again, there's a couple of things I want to say about that. If your tiles are reasonably okay and you don't want to do anything about your flooring, but the floor looks tired and old and maybe a little dirty, you can buy a grout whitening pen. And you can actually go over all of the grout lines, and that's including in the shower, and you can whiten your grout with those pens. So I'm not sure if they work extremely well. It probably depends on how bad your situation is, but it's definitely worth trying out if you just want to fix the grout. At the same time, if you want to go further, you could put tile over tile and have a new tile floor. But that requires there's several issues with that. First of all, you're not going to be going, it has to go under the cabinet, but you can't go under the cabinet. So, because normally the floors are put in first and then the cabinet sits on top. So it has to be cleverly done that it goes right to the edge of the cabinet. You also have to be careful of the thickness of the floor and the thickness of the tile, because if you're obviously raising the floor a little bit, so you have to watch what it's going to do to the joint where the bathroom becomes your hallway or whatever the next room is. So you have to watch how that's going to affect the level. And the same thing around the toilet, because the toilet has screws, so it can go a little bit up and down, but again, it all depends on what you've got there and the thickness of the new tile that you're putting. And last thing, the last warning, putting tiles over tiles, is if it's not the same size. So it can create, so let's say if you have very small tile right now and that's very outdated, you need to talk to a professional to see what their thoughts are if you decided to go for a bigger tile, let's say 12 by 24, because you don't want to create pockets of air underneath, and then the tiles are going to crack. So either they have to put a layer of like self-leveling cement, or they have to do something to make sure that it's all level, and then put the new tiles on top. So it's a little bit of a bigger job. And you have to talk to someone who is a professional, is going to give you professional advice. But there is another inexpensive solution, and which actually looks very, very good, and it will last you for a while. And now they sell something that are called peel and stick floor tiles. So you can go on Amazon and you can just Google it and see there's a big variety, and some of them look really, really nice. And they're exactly what it is. It's like a little, there's a little bit of thickness to it, so it doesn't look flimsy, and it's got a peel back on the back, and they're just sticky tiles. So you take them you place them on your bathroom floor to create whatever design you want, and then you just have to be, you know, a little meticulous and careful so it goes into straight lines. And you just, with an X-Acto knife, you cut out, you know, you do your first row, and then you go, you know, all the rows, and you cut out around the toilet and wherever you need. Once you did that, once you glued them all up, again, you know, my suggestion is to put the caulking around so it looks nice and professional. But just do some research. Just type the peel and stick floor tiling and see what comes up, because some of them look really, really, really amazing. So I've seen that done. I have not tried it myself, never had the occasion, but they look good, and I think it might last you for a while. The other thing that people started doing also, that's, you know, you might consider putting floating floor in the bathroom. It's not the best solution because of the moisture there, and if you have a lot of water coming in and out in the bathroom floor, like, it's not a good solution. It might lift it up. But maybe instead of the floating floor, you could also look at vinyl tiles, because right now there are a lot of high quality vinyl planks that look like wood, and they're quite amazing. They're super durable. They have, I think, 25-year warranty. They're waterproof. And if you just want to update your bathroom, but without, you know, this major expense, and you're not sure what to do about your flooring, I really encourage you to look into the vinyl planks for the flooring. So that could be another interesting solution for you. Let me see, what else do I have on my list? Okay, just a reminder to redo the silicone around your bathtub if that needs to be done. Changing your shower head also can make such a big difference. You know, again, if you have, like, just if you don't want to do major renovations, but maybe you can just change your shower head and put one of those rain showers, and it just automatically brings the look of the bathroom up by so much. One other thing I was going to mention is, please, let's get rid of the pharmacy cabinets. So if you can do that, that's amazing. You know, those built-in 1950s, 1960s pharmacy cabinets. Get rid of that, and the wall can be just, you know, replastered, and then get yourself like a nice big oversized mirror, pretty mirror, and that's going to make an amazing, amazing, huge difference in the way the bathroom looks. The same thing I want to mention is about over the toilet storage. For those of you, does anybody have that? You know, are you brave enough to admit that you have those? I know they're practical, and I know that if you have a small bathroom, you know, you might feel like you really need them. But personally, I really hate them. I really do. I think it just makes the bathroom look so awful and just not luxurious at all. So maybe you can get rid of those over the toilet storage cabinets, and we can come up with some clever solutions, maybe create some shelving if you need to, or what I did in my bathroom. Actually, I should have taken a picture, but I just bought on Wayfair a cabinet, like a very cute, simple white cabinet that keeps all of my creams and you know, makeup stuff and whatever I need. It's above the toilet, but it's very discreet, and it looks so much better, a lot more contemporary, and it still gives me all this additional storage that I need. It kind of goes with my vanity. So I just bought it on Wayfair. It was really inexpensive. It was under $150, I believe. So that's what I did. So let me see if I forgot anything. And if you have any questions, type them up. Now is the time to type them up and ask me the questions, because I think I pretty much covered. Oh, there's one last point. When you're updating your bathroom, you know, it's nice to go with the trends, but the important thing is don't be afraid to go big. And what I mean by going big is, if you're going to do anything replacing tiles, go with big tiles, because the big tiles, it's fewer tiles, fewer joints, and less work for whoever is doing the work for you. And it just looks so amazing. So don't be afraid, even if you have a small bathroom. Now, my trick for a small bathroom is I go with the same tile. If you notice, the last bathroom I did in the Love Shack, I had exactly, and it's not a small bathroom, but I still, for the simplicity, for the cost savings, I chose one tile, which was very inexpensive. It's 12 by 24 inches. And I used the same tile for all of the flooring and everything around inside my shower. And if you have a smaller size bathroom, I definitely recommend not to use 2 different or 3 different tiles, because it's just gonna, or some people use like one tile for the floor and maybe one different tile for the inside of the shower. I prefer to do everything the same. Now, it doesn't have to be boring. You can add some accents, you can add some mosaic. There's some, cute things that can be done. But in general, keeping the same uniform look between the floor and the inside of your bathtub or your shower is going to make the bathroom look bigger. So that's just a little tip I wanted to give you. Go with big tiles, go with big mirrors, go with big light fixture, and go with big artwork. So it's better to have like one nice oversized artwork than having 2 or 3 smaller things. That's in my opinion, and I think it really is going to make a big difference. And then the rest is just accessorizing. So, maybe you want to change the colors of your accessories, go with something unusual, a color that you like and that matches. You can just change the color scheme of your bathroom, okay? So does anybody have any questions? Because if you do, put them in the chat. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to say. And if you don't, then you can also put questions or comments in the chat. I mean, in the comments after the session is finished. I'll try to answer all of them. And I just thought it was an important topic to discuss, because I don't want people spending a lot of money, especially if they're selling, to renovate their bathroom completely. I don't think it's necessary in most cases. Again, it's not something that is general. In general, you can update without necessarily spending a lot of money and having to renovate the whole bathroom, because this is not what I recommend in most cases. Now, if you have any questions, if you're selling your house and you want to work with me, you want to get a consultation, or if you want to chat with me to see how I can help you more or less, please connect with me. Please send me DM. I answer everybody. And if you're not selling, but you still want to work with me to get my opinion and my advice and my tips in terms of how to restyle or redesign your existing spaces, then of course I'm available for that as well. And everything I do is customized to your particular needs and to your budget. And so I always offer, there's a lot of flexibility. So you want a little bit, I'll give you a little bit. You want a lot, we'll give you a lot. So thank you very much for being here with me this morning, and keep those questions coming, and help me keep the group active and engaged, because that's what helps me. It helps everybody, and it makes it a lot of fun for everybody. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very good rest of the day. Bye for now.